Hello students, today we will try to derive the relation conductivity is equal to Ne square m into tau, where you know that this tau is a relaxation time. Now before we move on to this derivation, let us revise what we have studied. In the previous lecture, we found that in the absence of the electric field, the electric current was zero, and when the field was applied, the electron started moving in the direction opposite to the electric field, and they collide with the ion oscillating about its mean position, and they were accelerated from one end to the another with the drift velocity, which was given by the relation minus E for charge, capital E electric field, m into tau. So this was the average velocity with which all electrons were drifted from one end of a conductor to the another end. So last lecture we concentrated on the drift of electron. So because of the drift, the amount of charge are transported from one end of conductor to the another end of conductor. Now we have to show the conductivity is this much, or you can say the resistivity, which will be the reciprocal of this. Again, let us consider again a conductor having the planar area A, which is perpendicular, the cross-sectional area is perpendicular to the electric field, or you can say a area vector is in the direction of the field. So we are taking the electric field intensity from this end to this end. It means the electrons will flow or drift opposite to the direction of the electric field intensity. So we consider a planar area A vector, that is the cross section perpendicular to the electric field intensity, or in such a way that its area vector is in the direction of the electric field intensity. This is the area vector, and this arrow indicates the motion of the charge, which are electrons. Electrons move in a direction opposite to electric field intensity. Now we know that all the electrons move with the average velocity, which is known as a drift velocity, because they will accelerate under the influence of electric field, and then they collide with the ion, again they accelerate, so their velocity keeps on changing. So we have to take the average of the velocities, which was known as a drift velocity. Now let us assume in a small time interval, now Vd is the drift velocity. So if, let us write the condition what we have considered. So we consider planar area A vector normal to E vector, or area vector planar area A. Let us name this planar area as A only, which is normal to E, or area vector parallel to E. This is we are considering. Then we consider Vd magnitude is equal to EE upon m tau, which is average velocity of all electrons, which is known as drift velocity. which is known as drift velocity. So we are considering its magnitude. Now, in time interval delta t, that is, we are considering a small time interval, all charges or all electrons to the left of E covers distance Vd delta t across. So we consider a small time interval. So all the electrons to the left of A covers distance. So distance is equal to drift velocity into time interval across or through any cross section, through a cross sectional area, through cross sectional area. So we are assuming the interval to be very small. So this distance from one end to another, or the distance is written as Vd into delta t. So these electrons which are to the left of A are being drifted towards A or are drifted in a direction opposite to the electric field intensity. Let us give a new quantity. Let n is equal to capital N upon V, that is the electron density. Now the unit of this small n is per meter cube. So like we have dealt with the surface charge density, linear charge density or volume charge density, in this chapter we will deal with an electron density, that is number of electron passing through the cross section per unit volume. Number of electrons passing through cross section of the conductor per unit volume. So that is an electron density. So we can write capital N is equal to N into V, and therefore N is equal to N, the volume of a conductor. Here V is volume of conductor. Now volume of the conductor is area into length. So the area of the cross section is A and the length is Vd delta t. So this is the volume of a conductor. Let us name this as equation 1. So N can be written as, capital N is the number of charges, that is N into volume. In the place of volume I write A Vd delta t, where Vd is the drift velocity. So this much amount of charge, this is the number of the charge or number of electrons which are being transported towards A. This is the number of charges transported towards A. Now I have to find out the total amount of charge. So according to quantization of charge, Q is equal to Ne, where E is the charge on electron and electron is negative. So the amount of charge transported towards A or transported through the cross section towards right or in the direction opposite to E, all have a same meaning. So now I have to find out the amount of charge. I found the number of charges. Now amount of charge transported towards cross section A, or you say amount of charge transported to the right direction or the right of A or opposite to the direction of the field. So delta Q, let delta Q be amount of charges transported through cross section towards right of A or opposite to E vector, opposite to E vector. Therefore, delta Q is equal to, now we apply the quantization, that is N into E, where E is the charge on electron, so I write minus N, capital N, so NA VD delta T into E. So this much amount of charge is transported against the electric field, where Vd is the drift velocity of a electron. Now, if electrons are drifting towards the right of A, that is in this direction, or opposite to the direction of E, then the amount of charge transported in the direction of the field is opposite. We assume that the charge is positive. We know that electric current is due to the motion of electron. That will be always against the field. Conventional current is in the direction of the field, that is from high potential to low potential. So if this is the negative sign, it is opposite to the field, the amount of charge transported in the direction of E vector will be written as, so we write amount of charges transported, amount of charges transported in the direction of field, because the current is in the direction of the field, or current density is in the direction of the field. So amount of charges transported in the direction of field is delta Q is equal to, now in the place of minus sign I write NAVD delta T into E, that is equation number 4. Now delta Q upon delta T can be written as the current, that is the current flowing through the cross section of the conductor. So this is the amount of positive charge, this is the amount of the negative charge. So there is a difference of plus and minus sign, or you say one is in the direction of field, one is in the direction opposite to the field. Now delta Q upon delta T is written as the current. So let I be the current. Therefore, I is written as, now NAVD, so I write it like ANEVD so that it can be remembered easy. This is the current flowing through the cross section of the conductor. Say we know the relation of this current density, that is J, and we know the microscopic Ohm's law also. So in order to define J, we need I and A, which is coming in this derivation. And then we compare that J relation, we know that J is equal to sigma into E. J is equal to sigma into E. So we have to define the conductivity, and therefore we are moving towards J. So I is equal to ANEVD. Now current density J is equal to, so I upon A, that is J, can be written as NEVD. So we are reducing our relation to this portion. Now we know that Vd, that is its magnitude only, is EEM into tau. where tau is a relaxation time. So, in the place of Vd, I substitute this value and let this equation be 7. Substitute equation 7 in equation 6. So J is equal to NE, then EE, so E square EM tau. And in vector notation, if we have to write in a vector notation, then we put arrow on J. So in vector form, J vector is equal to NE square E vector upon M into tau, where J vector is along E vector. So the direction of the current density is in the direction of the field. We know that, again we know that is a microscopic Ohm's law. J is equal to sigma E. Let this be equation 8, this be equation 9. So that is what we have derived in the previous lecture, that is a microscopic Ohm's law. Clearly I compare this. So comparing the equation, or if I substitute sigma E here, capital E gets cancelled. So comparing equation 8 and equation 9, conductivity sigma is equal to NE square M into tau. So this is the relation of a conductivity, and clearly NEM, this are assumed to be constant, or this is also a origin of a resistivity. This gives the origin of the resistivity. I can write the resistivity as the reciprocal of a conductivity. So generally, this N, E and M, they are assumed to be constant for a metals or for a conductor. So as far as question is given, we have derived this, but rho is equal to 1 upon sigma, and therefore resistivity rho is equal to M upon NE square tau. Now this is the relation for the resistivity. Clearly, if we consider M and E square to be a constant for a conductor, generally N is a constant for a conductor. So if we assume that N, that is the number of electrons per unit volume, that is the electron density, then resistivity mostly depends on a relaxation time. And relaxation time was the time interval or the average time interval between the two consecutive collision of electrons with the ion. So how the resistivity changes? Now let us remember this note. We have said earlier that resistivity does not depend on the length and the cross-sectional area of a conductor. In fact, it depends on the temperature and the pressure. Moreover, we have also written earlier that as temperature increases, the resistance of a conductor increases. Now, how does it happen? Let us say that an electron, this is an electron which is moving in a direction opposite to the electric field intensity. Now, this electron is moving under the influence of the electric field intensity or when the battery is connected, and we know that the path of this electron will be random because it keeps on colliding with the ion which are oscillating about its mean position. So it will be thrown away and then again it accelerates and always move in a direction opposite to the E. Now suppose this is the average relaxation time of this electron. Let us consider only one electron. Say that tau for this one electron is 1 second. That is its average relaxation time. It means for 1 second it accelerates. For 1 second it accelerates without any collision. Or you can say after every 1 second it collides with the ion, and it is its average time interval. It is its average time interval. It may be possible that for a first time when there is a collision, the relaxation time is say 2 seconds. Then in the second, for a second time it has a relaxation time of 1 second, then 3 seconds. So we have to take the average time interval between the two consecutive collision. So that relaxation time suppose is 1 second and the conductor is kept at temperature T1. Now suppose the temperature is increased. Now suppose that temperature is increased. Now how would you increase the temperature of a conductor? So keeping that battery connected, suppose I heat up this conductor. I heat up this conductor uniformly. I heat up this conductor uniformly. So I provide a thermal energy or a heat energy. So if I keep on increasing the temperature from 30 degree to 50 degree by different methods, say by heating, then it is we are providing the heat energy. It have an electrical energy due to which it is moving from one end to the another end, that is due to battery. Now when you heat up, this electron's drift velocity, will, or its acceleration will increase. It will move faster because in addition to this energy provided by the cell, it got a heat energy also. So it will be accelerated more faster as compared to the earlier case, that is at temperature T1. Now when we start heating it, let the temperature of the conductor becomes T2. That is T2 is greater than T1. Now the relaxation time, or it is accelerated. It means the relaxation time will, what will happen when it move fast? It will collide fast. So it will collide in a less interval of time. So earlier the electron took 1 second for accelerating. Now the electron is accelerated faster, or it is moving faster. So that relaxation time will decrease. And if the relaxation time decreases, then the resistivity will increase. So we say that as temperature increases, the resistivity increases because the relaxation time decreases. So if you increase the temperature, the electron will move faster. Clearly, when we get our energy, we will do more work. Or our energy level is high, then we will perform more work in less interval of the time. So same is the case with this electron. Earlier it was accelerating for 1 second without any collision, say at temperature T1. This is at temperature T1. So this electron was accelerating for 1 second, or it was not colliding before 1 second. then as temperature becomes T2, it accelerated faster or it start moving faster. As a result, it will collide faster or fast as compared to the earlier case. So that time interval between the two consecutive collision will decrease, say it becomes half second. So in other words, we can say that if temperature increases, relaxation time, that is tau, decreases, and resistivity is inversely proportional to tau, and so resistivity increases. So this is the one explanation how the temperature changes the resistivity or the resistance of a conductor. Now resistance is equal to rho L upon A. Now resistivity is increasing due to temperature difference. So the resistance of a conductor also changes with respect to temperature. So we will come to this point again. This statement is explained on the term of the formula or on the basis of this formula. There are many other ways where we can understand, or we will try to understand, that as temperature will increase, the resistivity will also increase. So remember that resistivity is inversely proportional to the relaxation time. Now the next topic is mobility. Now as the name indicate, how mobile the charge carriers are, that is called as mobility. It means the conductivity is due to the mobile charge carrier. Now different substances have different mobile charge carriers. So mobility means how mobile the charge carrier are, the carriers which are responsible for the conductivity. So we know that for conductors or for metals, conductivity is due to free electrons. So for metal, the conductivity is due to free electrons. So these free electrons are called mobile charge carrier. So you can understand this, that the charges or the thing which are responsible for the conductivity. So conductivity arises, this conductivity of any material arises due to mobile charge carrier. So for the metal, the conductivity is due to free electrons, or you can say due to motion of free electrons. So electrons are the mobile charge carrier. Then if we consider electrolyte, it is positive ions and negative ions. So it will be the motion of positive ions and negative ions if it is an electrolyte or a liquid. So we will see that in a chemical cell we have an electrolyte. So inside it the conductivity is due to the motion of the positive and negative charge. Now how mobile the charge carriers are. Say charge will not move without an electric field or without creating the potential difference. So we have a free electron in the case of metals, but they were in random motion. So in order that electrons flow in one direction, we have to create a potential difference. So this is the situation. To create a potential difference, we need an electric field intensity to be established along the two ends. So how the mobile charge carriers are moving, how fast or slow the charge are moving, that is been referred as the mobility. For electrolyte, we will say it is a motion of positive and negative ions. We will concentrate on metals. So similarly, if the gas is ionized, the mobile charge carriers are electrons and the positive ions. So different materials have a different mobile charge carrier. Mobility is generally defined, is denoted by the symbol mu. So mobility is denoted by mu, and it is defined as the drift velocity per unit electric field intensity. Mobility is defined as the ratio of the magnitude of drift velocity to electric field intensity. So if you are able to drift electrons by applying small amount of electric field intensity, that is, if the electric field intensity is small and the drifting is more, then I will say the mobility of that material is more. So if we have a different metals, and in a metal where the electric field intensity applied is small and you are getting more conductivity, then I will say the mobility of that material or that metal is more as compared to another metal. For example, silver is considered to be a best conductor as compared to say copper or iron. So if I establish a electric field, small amount of electric field, in the case of silver, the mobility will be more because it will have a free electron more. So by applying a small electric field or small potential difference, the drifting of the electrons will be more. So this is the concept of the mobility. How mobile the charge carriers are. How mobile the charge carrier are, that is called mobility. And mobile charge carriers determine the conductivity. So if any material have more conductivity, we talk only of metals now. So if any metal have more conductivity, we will say that its mobility is more. Means a small potential difference, we know E is established when there is a potential difference. A small potential difference will make the drifting of electron faster, or more electrons will be drifted easily. Now the magnitude of the drift velocity. We know that the magnitude of drift velocity is EEm upon tau. Therefore, mu is written as E, we substitute drift velocity and E is get cancelled. So E tau upon m is the formula for the mobility at the microscopic level. Now let us talk about the SI unit. So clearly the SI unit of the drift velocity is meter per second, and that of electric field intensity is Newton per coulomb. So I can write it as coulomb meter upon Newton second. So here C stands for coulomb. It should not be read as this centimeter. So this is one unit. Another unit also you can write again, drift velocity meter per second, electric field intensity is volt per meter. So the another unit is meter square per volt second. Meter square per volt second. So again the dimensional formula is left as an exercise. So this is a small topic related to the conductivity of a material. You have to remember the charge carriers responsible for the conductivity. So all materials, every materials have charge carrier. We classified the material in this chapter on the basis of their conductivity and resistivity. So on the basis of conductivity or resistivity, the materials are classified into three categories, that is conductors, semiconductors and insulators. So depending upon the type of materials, we have different mobile charge carriers. For metal we have written electron. For electrolyte it is a motion of positive ions and negative ions. Then you have to remember, for ionized gas it will be the motion of electrons and positive ions. So for their motion will be responsible for the conductivity in the case of ionized gas. And we will also see if there is a semiconducting device or a semiconductor, the mobile charge carriers are electron and holes. So this is the new thing we will study in a semiconductor. So this is all about we have a this is all thing we have for today's lecture. Have a good day.